But doing it right means a lot of different factors, and you've all alluded to, yes, ownership, but not necessarily. What, particularly in the context of a technology company, maybe Art, start with you. You alluded earlier to the pressures of keeping investors happy, keeping outside constituents happy. I'm the entrepreneur, it was my idea. Now I'm looking at the need, a la Intel, to broaden the net here, get people in the game. What do we have to do? How much of the company are we talking about, and how wide is the range of ownership incentives that we see over a course of a company's development?
Well, it's a long question. I'm not sure how to answer it, but basically the pressure that's felt, I think, by the entrepreneur is, pardon my French, how the hell do I raise this money without giving the company away? And I think one of the things that we try to teach and to counsel people is to really look at a much more efficient use of capital in proceeding down that path. I mean, I think that the absolutely wrong thing that you want to do, and it's not even possible, frankly, is to have a good idea, write a business plan, go talk to a venture capitalist, and ask for money. Because the worst fears may come. They may give it to you. And there are going to be so many strings on it that you probably don't want to take it. So I think what I'd like to counsel people is to look at bootstrapping your company, using your friends, using your family, using the Small Business Innovation Research Program, using creative government partnerships. If you're in a university, stay in the university for a while and use NSF or NIH funding. What you need to do is to create some value, to take some risk out of what you're doing, and then go out and raise money. And now you're able to raise it at much better values. And another approach that a lot of people are taking is what I call the virtual model, where you basically don't invest in bricks and mortar. You don't do any of that. You stay in the academy, or you partner with the academy to get that kind of service, and then move forward. With raising angel money, with raising SBIR money, et cetera. So you end up with a broader set of constituents that you have to manage. So managing complexity becomes another.
But even at the early stage, you may consider some broadening of the ownership within the
absolutely, absolutely. And using, I mean, I can't say what happens in San Diego, but in Pittsburgh, we have a number of, I know it's very different because I've been in both places and I've been in Boston. They're all very different. Anyhow, you end up with, we have the ability of doing what we call convertible debt, which is a non-priced round. Now, here's the way it works. You basically have some foundations or the state that comes in and puts money into your company as a loan. It's basically a non-recourse loan, which is not priced. It converts into equity, but not until you've added a lot of value. So 2 years downstream, a year downstream, you now raise a priced round, and that equity converts. So instead of giving up 30 or 40 or 50% of your company, you're giving up 5 to 10%.
And have you given up more to your employees at the same time?
That's the whole point, is in the meantime, you've created an employee option pool of probably 20, 30, 40%, and that's who's got those shares.
And again, a further follow-on real quick, who are we talking about eligible in that pool in the typical, can you generalize?
In the typical startup, it would be pretty much anybody that creates success.
It tends to be very egalitarian in the early stages and get more selective as the companies mature.
Right, exactly.
One of the things, though, that I think is really important to note is that sort of bootstrap operation isn't necessarily dependent on those kinds of government programs.
No.
I think there's a kind of knee-jerk among high-tech companies especially, that the way that you grow a high-tech company is you start it and you almost immediately look for outside investment or venture capital or whatever. And I've recently actually just completed through our institute, helping some folks put in an ESOP that started out saying we really need to do some analysis for private equity. We need private equity, and we, in doing the look through on all their finances and their strategies and planning, they had more than enough potential to grow organically. They didn't really need to do that.
Sure.
And that they were able to apply their equity in a way that would just engage their employees, and that was really the big issue. Actually, that one is most interesting because it's a company that operates both in California and in Bangalore, India. And it's not like it has a subsidiary or an outsource. It's just a company that has 2 offices. And trying to create a program in India to do the same things we're doing in California with the ESOP is just an interesting kind of a mind.
I want to just disagree with Tony on one thing. I think that there are...
Not surprising, by the way.
Are some mature companies with a lot of employee ownership, like your Google or Cisco or Microsoft, that have become committed to including all employees, from the floor sweeper to the CEO, and that doesn't mean that it's egalitarian in terms of how much employee ownership, how many stock options, how much profit share each person gets. It can be dependent on performance and dependent on team performance. It's egalitarian in the sense of inclusive.
Yeah.
Of inclusiveness and wanting to set the tone for a certain kind of culture. You still have that differentiation in terms of accountability.
You're all rewarded, but not necessarily equally.
Yes.
Oh, I missed the part where you were disagreeing with me.
He was interpreting the definition of egalitarian.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for clarifying that, Art.